The SkyTrack 13 weather team is tracking another winter storm that will interrupt your weekend plans. I'll have the details.
And the snow that is sticking around is just waiting for more. So how are counties fighting that to keep the roads clear? I'm Matt McCutcheon with the interesting vegetable that's making all the difference. That's coming up live.
From Indiana's news leader, Eyewitness News Sunrise starts now.
Good morning to you. Welcome to Sunrise. Time now is 8 o'clock on your Saturday morning. I'm Naomi Peskovitz. Kelly Green is here with me once again to talk about your weekend forecast because there's a lot moving in tonight. Around 7 o'clock, really.
Yes, anytime after 7 p.m. I think we'll start to see that snow moving in, especially in west central Indiana. Then it will start really ramping up after midnight. So similar to last weekend, although it will happen on a Sunday instead of a Saturday morning. Here's a look at our satellite radar. You can see the clouds starting to fill in. So we are going to see a mainly cloudy afternoon. As you can see, we have a much bigger storm off to our west. That is what will be moving in over the next 24 hours. So we'll see some heavy snow mainly after midnight tonight. In the meantime, it's 10 degrees in Greenwood, 9 degrees in Sciennesville, 9 in Crawfordsville, and 12 degrees in Paragon. And we are going to see temperatures responding to that southeasterly breeze that we'll have out there today, climbing into the mid to upper 20s. Now notice Future Track does bring the clouds in throughout the afternoon, and we'll see temperatures climbing into the upper 20s today, and those clouds will also thicken up throughout the day. Now then, later on tonight, a winter weather advisory goes into effect from 7 p.m. tonight through 7 p.m. tomorrow night. This is a long-lasting storm system. It will start to ramp up, especially after midnight tonight. That's when we do think the steadiest snowfall will fall through about 6 a.m. tomorrow. I'll have more on the track as well as how much to expect coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast. Naomi?
Kelly, thank you. And as she just said, more snow is on the way, and while you'll still see trucks dropping salt in the metro area, other towns around central Indiana are getting quite creative with their snow removal. Sunrise reporter Matt McCutcheon joins us live now with how communities across the area are doing something new to cut costs. Matt, good morning.
Naomi, good morning. You know what a difference a year makes. It was just this time last year we had a total of 50 inches of snow. So from the sidewalk to the side of the building, this is how much snow we had this time last year. A dramatically different story this year. Look, all the way down here, 15 inches of snow. Despite the lower amounts of snow totals, it's still creating quite a salt pinch. Now, DPW, which is responsible for Meridian Street right here in downtown Indianapolis, they say they have a good, steady salt supply of more than 11,000 tons. Interstates like I-65, that's taken care of by INDOT. They have over 100,000 tons statewide, so they're in pretty good shape. But as we go to our south, it is a different story in Morgan County. In fact, they are 20% over what they expected to use this year. They had a 2,000-ton maximum for their salt with a cushion of about another 400 tons on top of that, bringing their total to 2,400 tons this year. And right now they are dangerously close to using all of that. So this upcoming snow event could break their salt supply. They're now mixing more sand with the salt to stretch it as much as they can. In Boone County, it's a different story. They have a pretty good salt supply, and much of that is all thanks to one vegetable, a beet, if you can believe it. They are mixing beet juice with the salt, and they say that's helping in more ways than one.
It was hard on bridges and guardrails, and it's also hard on equipment when you're putting it down. So this is a lot less corrosive, a little bit greener, you know, a little safer for the streams. Regular salt quits working, you know, 12, 13 degrees, somewhere in there. And when you add the beet juice to it, it doesn't stop working until it gets in, you know, could be negative 15, negative 20 degrees. So it decreases the temperature, you know, that it's still effective.
They also say that beet juice helps keep the salt kind of more in place and gives it more of a traction to stay around. That's because it has kind of that stickiness to it as compared to other ingredients that can make it just sort of run off and not stick around as long. They also say it works better in the colder weather. So Boone County has found for just about the past 2 decades that beet juice can really help them, despite the fact that some people may find it a little smelly and not as delicious. But Naomi, they say beet juice is their big secret to battling the snow.
Hopefully, Matt, they're not eating it, just using it to help with the salt. Thank you so much. Well, new on Sunrise, nearly 500 students left school early yesterday at Bloomington North after threats of violence on social media. School officials say they have found the students responsible for circulating those bogus threats, and they are now taking appropriate disciplinary action. According to our partners at the Bloomington Herald-Times, rumors of a so-called hit list swirled on social media yesterday morning, and some students either left school on their own or called their parents to pick them up. Police in Cass County arrested a snowplow driver for allegedly shooting at a woman in a road rage incident. According to our news gathering partners at the Kokomo Tribune, 20-year-old Drew Boehm pulled a gun on the driver of a car he was following and opened fire. The woman in the car was not hit. Police in Lawrence say they are getting more tips about the person who may have hit a man on Pendleton Pike over the weekend and then drove off. The accident, as you can see here, was caught by a surveillance camera. It's too violent to show the whole video, but police hope it's enough to lead them to the driver. Witnesses thought they saw a Dodge Charger type car hit the man, but investigators say it's not clear what type of passenger car it was. The man hit is showing signs of improvement, but he's still in critical condition this morning. Only on 13 this morning, an interview with a young mother who's still coping with the effects of a deadly crash that killed her husband while she was pregnant. Rebecca Sperry has spent the last 10 months recovering. The devastating crash killed her husband Jesse as the couple drove home from church. Investigators say an Edgewood police officer under the influence rear-ended the couple's car, pushing it into a utility pole. Jesse died at the scene. Rebecca was rushed to the hospital, 9 months pregnant. She delivered her daughter Autumn by emergency C-section. Doctors say baby Autumn is doing just fine, though. Rebecca's road to recovery, though, has been much longer. She is facing at least one more surgery to get rid of the blood clots that keep happening in her legs. She needs her mobility if she is going to be chasing after the active toddler Autumn is about to become.
I definitely want to be able to be up and active. I definitely want to be able to run with her. Are you sharing with me, Andy?
Rebecca's insurance won't cover the surgery, so she's had to raise the money on her own. Thankfully, though, people have stepped up to help her pay for that procedure. She says she still has nightmares about the crash, and she's just working through it all. But still, her faith is unshaken, and what a strong woman there. Well, still ahead this weekend, we're going to see plenty of snow moving in. We're not going into March without a kick.
That's a good fact right there. Yes, we are going to have a very active weekend. Clouds already moving in on Kokomo's cam here from our Weather Bug Network. A much different scene, though, for tomorrow. I'll have the details coming up.
Plus, keeping the trails clear coming up while runners are bracing for the cold and heading out onto the Cultural Trail downtown this morning. And Congress agrees to fund the Department of Homeland Security in the 11th hour. Coming up, the budget battle that lies ahead for lawmakers in Washington. Welcome back. Today would be the perfect day to get out and run before the sidewalks, the trails are buried in more snow coming ahead. Getting active and keeping your running route clear are two big reasons for a run happening this morning. And Nicole Mosensic joins us live downtown with much more on this event that she will MC still ahead. The 2015 Winter Warm-Up. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Naomi. We have hundreds of runners that are ready to run 4 or 8 miles, all raising money for a good cause. And you still have time to get down to City Market right here in downtown Indianapolis for the Winter Warm-Up. It all benefits the Cultural Trail. And joining me this morning is Karin. Karin, it's really important that people participate in this because the Cultural Trail is a gem of our city.
It is. You know, it's an opportunity for people to come out and give back, especially to the winter efforts that we do with clearing the snow and ice on the trail. And if it's too cold for you to run today or you're not a runner or a walker, you can also give not to run on our website at indyculturaltrail.org. That way you can still support our snow removal efforts and what we do to keep the trail looking beautiful 12 months a year.
And you guys really work hard on that. Last year was a difficult year, more than 50 inches of snow, all of that ice. It took a lot of work to keep that up, and that's where a lot of the money went. So you're trying to build up reserves.
Exactly. We budget about $50,000 a year for our snow removal efforts. We've got a great partner with Brickman who does the actual snow removal. I'm not out there every day. We've got a great team, but they come out and do remove the snow. But it's our biggest variable in our budget. You don't know what the weather's going to be. Sometimes it's, you know, relatively mild like this year. Sometimes it's like last year. We've got lots of snow that we need to get off the trail.
This year we've been pretty lucky, so to raise that money to go ahead and have something in reserves is going to help you in future years to keep the Cultural Trail clear, because bikers, walkers, runners, it really connects our city.
It really does. You know, it gets you to all the downtown neighborhoods. Anywhere you want to go downtown, you can get to on the Cultural Trail. But not just our bikers and runners. People use the trail for commuting. People in wheelchairs use the trail. So it's important that it's accessible for everyone 24 hours a day, all year long.
Karin, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. The run is going to kick off right here at City Market coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. That's when the 8-mile run kicks off. The 4-mile run kicks off at 9:30, and it's all going to be on the Cultural Trail. So even if you're not going to be out here running today, which we encourage you to come on down, make sure that you watch for those runners and walkers all around downtown Indianapolis. Naomi?
Nicole, thank you so much. A good morning there, and good luck on your run today.
Thank you.
Well, we have more news still. Another major data breach, this time hitting a popular taxi service site. Is your personal information in jeopardy if you have used Uber in the past year? We'll explain next. Welcome back. On Capitol Hill, a crisis was averted or maybe just delayed. Just hours before the Department of Homeland Security would run out of money in a fight over immigration, Congress agreed to fund DHS, but just for a week. Steve Handelsman is on Capitol Hill with the latest.
Number 4, H.R. 33.
The Senate okayed 1 week of DHS funding by voice vote.
Ayes appear to have it.
Soon after, Democrats joined Republicans in the House to pass the stopgap. It avoids furloughs for 30,000 DHS workers, like most at the National Cybersecurity Center, and avoids TSA workers and Coast Guard, 200,000 essential DHS employees having to work without a paycheck. But House Speaker John Boehner had a bad day, pushing for 3 weeks of funding without defunding President Obama's executive order on immigration that conservatives hate.
That took the power of Congress away from us.
And 51 House Republicans said no to the Boehner plan to send a message.
You can't keep bypassing the Constitution and bypassing Congress.
President Obama gathered his DHS team tonight and urged Congress to avoid any DHS disruption.
And there will be, within 7 days, full funding for the Department of Homeland Security.
But that's not up to the Democrats. I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, Capitol Hill.
Republicans, leaders who control Congress, have a week to find a way to weaken the Obama immigration order and satisfy conservatives without hurting Homeland Security. A prominent critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin was shot and killed overnight. People were seen early this morning leaving flowers and condolences for Boris Nemtsov, just feet away from where he was killed. Russian police said Nemtsov was shot several times from a passing car while he was taking a walk with a female companion on a bridge just outside of the Kremlin. Nemtsov was a former deputy prime minister of Russia in the 1990s. After Vladimir Putin was first elected president in 2000, Nemtsov joined the opposition and became one of the most vocal critics of his rule. Another major data breach to tell you about this morning, this one happening at taxi service Uber. Uber said the breach happened in May of last year, but was not discovered until September. The company declined to comment about why the breach was not revealed, though, until now. Uber said that the names and license numbers of about 50,000 drivers were exposed. It also said that no customer data, usernames or passwords were ever accessed. They are now, though, offering their drivers a year of identity theft protection. Certainly a service that I use a lot, so good to hear that customers weren't really affected by that. Well, this weekend we are having more winter weather. It's coming.
That's right, and we are really going to be talking about snow that'll be moving in our area, but New Mexico's also had some snow.
Yeah, some places that don't normally get it, including New Mexico, of course, just one of the many. This is Chama, New Mexico, near the Colorado border. Icy roads have made travel treacherous. There were so many accidents in Albuquerque last night that the police department stopped responding to non-injury accidents. Winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories, though, remain in effect through Sunday in parts of the state. So we won't see quite that much, or maybe we will.
Well, I was looking at some of their totals already. Albuquerque seeing about 4 to 6 inches of snow,
wow, okay.
And they've had a lot of high wind in portions of Flagstaff, Arizona, high wind warnings in effect. So a lot of winter weather across the Four Corners, and we are definitely going to see our share of more snow, similar really, Naomi, to what we saw last weekend, except this storm is actually going to push in on Sunday instead. You can see here from our satellite radar, we've had some snow trying to fall in Illinois, but at this point it's just in the form of virga. It's actually evaporating before it makes its way to the surface. But you can see off to our southwest a lot more moisture associated with this system, so it is going to be moving into our area over the next several hours. In the meantime, no record breaker low this morning. It's 12 degrees right now. We actually fell to 7. It's currently 5 above in Marion, 7 degrees in Crawfordsville, 10 right now in Richmond. Clouds have already started to thicken up. It's currently 12 at the Indianapolis airport. Winds are out of the east at 5 miles per hour. Still have a wind chill value making it feel like it's 4 degrees. Temperatures today will be climbing into the mid to upper 20s. thanks to those winds out of the east-southeast, that southerly component helping that out a bit. But we are tracking more snow, and it is definitely going to impact your weekend. It looks like we're going to see 2 waves of steady snow. Could be mixed in with a little bit of rain as well. The first wave looks to arrive anytime after midnight, continuing until about 6 a.m. Then we'll see a little lull in the action, and then it will start to kick back up again from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And some of that snow will mix with some rain, especially from points south of Indianapolis. And the heaviest snow at this point, we have high confidence. North of Indianapolis will be where the heavy snow falls. A winter weather advisory is in effect tonight from 7 p.m. until tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for all of central Indiana, because we do expect to see the snow impacting everyone. Starting future track here at 7 p.m., we'll start to see the snow moving in after 7 o'clock. It will become more widespread after midnight, and then it will become steady during the overnight hours. As we head towards 6 o'clock in the morning, temperatures will fall into the low 20s, so we'll see that accumulating snowfall. A couple of inches not out of the question by tomorrow morning, with winds out of the southeast. Then as we head into 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, I do think we'll see a little lull, and then it starts to ramp back up again about 10 o'clock in the morning. Notice through here, this is our line of demarcation, that freezing line right along Bloomington through Greenfield, and that could shift a bit. It is still south of Indianapolis, so we'll keep it mainly snow for Indianapolis and areas to the north, but that will definitely have an impact for our snow total. So here's a look at your forecast. We'll see temperatures climbing to 28 degrees. I do think portions of Indianapolis along that I-70 corridor, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches. We may be adjusting that. That is not in stone, so keep checking back with us. Temperatures fall to 22 tomorrow morning, high of 34 on Sunday. So we'll see enough warm air mixing in that we'll see a little bit of that wet snow at least by Sunday afternoon. Could mix in with some rain. That's what we're still watching out for. And then another system moves in late Monday night. Could be some freezing rain, changing over to just rain, possibly some heavy rain and flooding. Just a lot of that March weather where we see a lot of those temperature swings.
Well, let's lighten the mood a little bit. A story that you've probably heard plenty about at this point. Maybe you're sick of it. The dress, you know, a lot of people talking about this mysterious dress.
Yeah. I mean, you really couldn't look at any kind of social media without seeing the dress
pop up. It was everywhere, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever. Well, anyway, debates have sparked online over this picture. Here's the dress. Okay, Kelly, what do you see?
Well, I see blue and black.
That is so weird. I see white and gold. And I've looked at this picture a million times. I can't understand how you could see the other way.
I think that's funny too, but I also see an ugly dress. Yes. I must point that out as well.
Yes. Well, it's going to be selling a lot though. The company that makes this dress, yes, they officially announced. You were right. There's the real dress. It's royal blue and black. So bizarre. So English dress retailer Roman Originals reported 1 million hits on its sales site in the first 18 hours. Yes, of that phenomenon.
Well, it does look cuter on her.
It looks good on her.
On person, it's good.
It's true, it does look good on her. Well, optometry experts are calling the photo a 1 in a million shot that perfectly captures how people's brains perceive color and process contrast in obviously dramatically different ways. It's a phenomenon called color constancy.
And essentially, it's our brain looking at what we're seeing and then adjusting the image so that we can see a colour that we're familiar with. But it isn't necessarily the actual colour of the light that's being reflected off the object.
Okay, and despite the color announcement, which I still don't believe, debate rages on. Hashtag the dress remains a trending topic this morning.
This is wild.
I can't understand it. Well, there's another dress that's dominating the headlines too. This one, a stolen dress worth more than $150,000.
That's crazy too, right there.
Yeah, a beautiful dress though. It appears though it may have been recovered. They may have found it. The LA County Sheriff's Department says the dress worn by actress Lupita Nyong'o at the Oscars was found after they got an anonymous tip. There's that beautiful dress.
Wow.
They were told the dress was hidden in a second-floor restroom at the hotel where it was taken from. The spokesman said this type of case actually isn't out of the ordinary for them.
You know what? We have lots of interesting things that happen in West Hollywood. We would give this case the same attention we would give any other case. It's just another day in West Hollywood.
Yeah, if that happened here, I think it'd be a different story.
Yeah, $150,000 dress. I mean, how do
know.
you even sit in that? I would be scared to death to even wear that.
Well, now they're saying those pearls might actually not have been real, so, and it's still worth that much. So that just gives you an idea of how custom fitted that dress. It did look beautiful on her, by the way. They're trying to look at some surveillance video now to see if they can actually identify the suspect. If he's captured, he'll face burglary and grand theft charges. I should say he or she, you never know. We still don't know who took it. Well, it's a great program sending hundreds of local veterans to Washington each year to see the memorials built in their honor. Coming up, the event happening this week that helps keep that program going and how you can get involved. Welcome back. A fundraiser this weekend will help get a group of local veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials honoring their sacrifices. Ganassi Racing is holding a fundraiser for Indy Honor Flight at their Woodland Drive facility today. The open house and auction is from 2 until 7. Now, one of the hottest items up for auction this year, we think, is a tour of the new WTHR studio. The highest bidder will be able to come visit the station and meet the Sunrise crew. It'll help pay for an honor flight coming up in April. Sports director Dave Calabro's father will also be among the veterans on that trip. Well, new on Sunrise, Indiana Governor Mike Pence delivers a bold message about terrorists this morning. Coming up, strong words from the possible presidential hopeful about the country's defense strategy.
Eyewitness News at Sunrise continues.
Good morning once again. It is a beautiful morning as we take a live look at downtown Indianapolis. Clear now, but we might see some snowflakes in the next 24 hours. Kelly will have those details for you in just a few moments. We do have a lot to cover this half hour, including some strong words from the governor and the fight against terrorism. And more details are emerging on that terror suspect caught right here in central Indiana. We'll tell you how long the FBI had been chasing him. But first, let's get to the weather. That's on everyone's minds this Saturday, and it will dive us into tonight and into tomorrow morning.
You got it. Another winter storm that's going to impact our weekend. This time it's going to hold off until later tonight through Sunday. So right now we're still watching out for some snow that's trying to fall and make its way into southern Illinois. It's really just evaporating before it actually hits the surface. So we call that virga. But we are watching out for some heavier snow. This system is going to be packed in with a lot of moisture, so we do expect to see some higher snow totals, especially in our northern viewing area. Satellite radar showing the clouds starting to filter in, so this will be a mainly cloudy day, especially this afternoon into the evening. But we are going to see this storm system start to really move our direction anytime after 7 o'clock tonight. In the meantime, it's 5 degrees in Marion, 0 in Logansport, 10 degrees in Frankfort, it's 11 in Pike, and we will see temperatures climbing pretty quickly into the mid to upper 20s this afternoon. Again, the clouds will thicken up throughout the afternoon and the winds will start to pick up out of the east-southeast, so that will allow that temperature rebound into the upper 20s. But then later on tonight, a winter weather advisory goes into effect from 7 p.m. tonight until 7 p.m. tomorrow night, where we do expect to see accumulating snow, heavier totals in our northern viewing area right along the I-70 corridor right now. Look at about 2 to 4 inches. I'll have more details about that and the timing coming up in your SkyTrack 13 forecast. Naomi?
Kelly, thank you. New on Sunrise, Indiana Governor Mike Pence talked tough on terrorism in a speech to fellow conservatives last night. Pence talked about international challenges during his address to the Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, in Maryland. He was also critical of President Barack Obama.
The president says that jobs are the answer to violent jihad. Well, Mr. President, Jihadi John doesn't want a job. He wants to see paradise, and I think we should help him get there as quickly as possible.
Pence also called for increasing defense spending in the speech. He told the folks at CPAC that no defense strategy will protect the nation unless federal leaders rebuild the U.S. military. Eyewitness News told you this week about a terror arrest in Plainfield. Now it turns out that the FBI had been tracking that man for years. 13 Investigates has been digging into this story, and officials believe that suspect has been here in the Midwest helping ISIS terrorists in the Middle East. Our senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel explains how FBI agents caught their man.
His name is Nihad Rosic. He's originally from Bosnia. Moved here to the United States, where he's worked as a truck driver. But federal agents say he lives a double life and that he's been part of a group that's been directly supporting ISIS terrorists in the Middle East. As bloody battles rage on in Syria, the FBI and federal prosecutors have been working behind the scenes here in the United States. 3 weeks ago in St. Louis, prosecutors announced the indictment of 6 Bosnian nationals for conspiring to help ISIS terrorists. But what prosecutors did not announce is one of the suspects was arrested here in central Indiana. 13 Investigates has learned federal agents have been tracking Nihad Rosic for years. The FBI tells Eyewitness News the truck driver was making a routine delivery off of Ronald Reagan Parkway in Plainfield when they made their arrest. And it happened about an hour before Air Force One landed with President Barack Obama nearby. The timing appears to be a coincidence. What is not coincidence, according to this indictment, is the relationship between Rosic and a brutal terrorist group. The indictment says Rosic and other defendants provided ISIS fighters with U.S. military uniforms, combat boots, tactical gear, and firearms accessories such as rangefinders and rifle scopes. They also wired thousands of dollars in cash, all in an elaborate conspiracy to commit murder and maiming in Syria and Iraq. Investigators obtained records from Western Union and PayPal. Prosecutors say they show the transfer of money from the suspects here in the Midwest to known terrorists in the Middle East. Federal agents also monitored phone calls, emails, and Facebook to infiltrate the group's communication. According to the indictment, members of the conspiracy used coded language, referring to each other as lions. They called Syria the beach, and weapons were known as actions. Prosecutors say Rosick planned to fly to Syria to join ISIS on the battlefield. He and other defendants are now facing 3 federal counts of conspiracy and assisting terrorists. After his arrest in Plainfield, Nihad Rosick spent 5 days in the Marion County Jail. The U.S. Marshals Service then transported him to St. Louis, where he's now facing those serious charges. John and Andrea, back to you.
Bob, thank you. Indiana University police officers will begin wearing body cameras today as part of a field test. Cameras like this one will be tested by officers on 3 IU campuses around the state. They've gained a lot of national attention since the shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. But more research may be needed to find out how effective they are. The results of this field test will give a committee of students, faculty, and law enforcement an opportunity to consider the cost and controversy around the new technology. The committee should have a recommendation in May. An appeals court has agreed to reduce the prison sentence for a former Plainfield middle school teacher. Joseph Singleton was convicted of molesting a 13-year-old student. He was originally sentenced to 38 years in prison, but the appeals court just dropped his sentence to 20 years. They say he had no prior criminal history, served in the military, and has tutored other inmates behind bars. A former assistant swim coach at North Central High School has pleaded not guilty to child seduction charges. Police say 36-year-old Matthew Carrington allegedly sent explicit text messages to a 16-year-old student who's a member of the swim team. The teen also alleges Carrington fondled her on school grounds. Prosecutors say the girl's parents came forward after they found inappropriate text messages. The Newcastle school superintendent says he is reviewing letters written by students criticizing ISTEP and the politics of education in Indiana. We told you earlier this week the 5th and 6th graders at Wilbur Wright Elementary wrote the letters as part of a lesson in persuasive writing. Some critics were concerned over whether the teacher coaxed the children on what to write. In a statement, Superintendent Stephen Fisher wrote this: "This matter is reviewed by the superintendent's office as a personnel issue because it involves evaluation of the conduct of professional staff and the performance of instruction, and the superintendent's office will not offer public comment on this matter." Well, today might just be the perfect day to get out and run before the sidewalks and trails get totally buried in snow. Getting active and keeping your running route clear are 2 big reasons for a run happening this morning. And Nicole Masensic joins us live downtown with more on the event she's emceeing and then running the 2015 winter warm-up. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Naomi. I'm ready to hit the Cultural Trail. I'm logging 8 miles this morning. There's an 8-mile race and a 4-mile race. Still time to sign up here at City Market. Everything kicks off at 9 o'clock for that 8-mile run, 9:30 for the 4-mile run. We have hundreds of people that are running today for a purpose, not only to be active when it's the miserable cold weather outside, but we are also raising money to keep the Cultural Trail clear. Karin is joining me this morning from the Cultural Trail. Keeping the trail clear is a huge job, and you guys are really on top of it all year round.
We are. We want to make sure people can use the trail no matter what they need to use it for. Commuting, exercise, maybe they're in a wheelchair, all the time. So in the winter, that involves clearing this trail of snow and ice.
Last winter was extremely hard, more than 50 inches of snow. Not only that, sub-zero temperatures that had the ice on the trail. So you guys spent a lot of money to take care of that. We're trying to build reserves with this run today.
We are. We budget about $50,000 a year for our snow removal efforts, but again, years like last year, we take a hit. And so this is an opportunity for people to give back to the trail that they use all the time and also help contribute to the snow and ice winter removal efforts.
And a lot of us use the trail all the time. You see the signs, even if you're not a runner, a walker, or a bike rider. Chances are you're on Mass Ave shopping, you're walking right on the Cultural Trail.
That's right. People are on the trail all the time. We really think millions of people have used the Cultural Trail since it's been completed because it gets you everywhere you need to go downtown. It makes it easy to get where you need to go, whether you're on a bike or by foot, and this is an opportunity for people to give back to something that has brought so much to our city.
Now, if people are sleeping in today, because I don't blame them, you can still support this effort. Tell me how.
You can. So you can pay not to run run, actually. Go to our website, indyculturaltrail.org. If you pay not to run, make a donation today, we'll get you a t-shirt so it looks like you paid to run in the sub-degree weather.
All right, Karin, that sounds perfect. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We're going to get ready to head outside. Paying not to run. Naomi, what do you think about that? I'm ready to hit the trail, but I think a lot of people want to sleep in with the cold weather today, too. It's still going to be a great effort with hundreds of people down here running just to keep that cultural trail clear.
Yeah, Nicole, we appreciate you leading the cause for us this morning because I will not be running and I don't think Kelly will either. No. But you can do it for us. Does that count?
Yeah, I'll do it for you. I'll log a couple extra miles, one for each of you.
Thank you so much. And stay warm. I know you brought your hat, so we'll see you out there. And this morning shouldn't be too bad. And it's a good idea to do it this morning because it will change.
Yeah, I mean, today a good chunk of the day is actually going to be pretty quiet. That's some good news. So get out there and get your errands done because tomorrow a totally different story. We are tracking another winter storm that's going to interrupt your weekend. A winter weather advisory goes into effect later tonight. I'll have details on that, the tracking, and how much to expect coming up on Sunrise.
And he lived long and prospered. TV acting legend Leonard Nimoy passes away. Coming up, a special look at the legacy he leaves behind. Welcome back. Time now 8:43, and check this guy out. He's got the right idea, except maybe he needs some boots. It's winter. We know it's cold. Why not dance? There he is. Terrence Williams from Detroit has been cutting a rug or cutting a piece of the pavement on a street corner for the past 3 years, and he turns more than a few heads.
Oh, I get all kind of reactions. They give me $1, $2, or $3 bills, and they all smile. Reaction is motivation. I'm in motion. That helps. It's doing something spiritual. The trees and the grass do something spiritual too.
Well, Williams said he started dancing like this to help him lose some weight, and he says it's working. He's dropped more than 50 pounds since he started. I kind of do that dance too when I'm out there cold. Yesterday we were waiting for our live shot. It was freezing, so we're all kind of doing a little bounce.
Burn some calories shivering, but you could also do Zumba. You might be a good Zumba instructor.
Yeah, you're a Zumba lady.
Yeah, I love Zumba. It's a great way to stay in shape. And
maybe outdoor Zumba classes to come. Not tonight, though.
No, not tonight. We are definitely tracking some snow that will become accumulating, especially after midnight. As you can see from our satellite radar, already picking up some returns from southern Illinois. A lot of this just evaporating before it actually makes its way to the surface, but this is a large storm storm system has a lot of moisture associated with it. You can see a lot of the heavy snow portions of Kansas City and Springfield, all that moving towards us in the next 12 hours. Now, temperatures bottom out around 7 degrees this morning. We didn't break the record low for today. It's currently 12 degrees in Indianapolis, 7 in Kokomo, 16 in Seymour, and 8 degrees right now in Crawfordsville. The clouds are starting to filter in, and temperatures are holding steady at 12, and winds are out of the east right now at 5 miles per hour. Wind chill value making it feel like it's 4. Winds will be out of the east-southeast today, and that will allow temperatures to climb to 28 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Then we're gearing up for this next winter storm that will impact your weekend. We're talking about 2 different waves of steady snow, could be mixed with some rain. Looks like the first wave will move in after midnight, continue until about 6 a.m. There'll be a lull in the action, and then we'll see it kick back up again around 10 a.m. through 4 p.m. And the heaviest snow at this point still looking to be right north of Indianapolis. So the National Weather Service has all of central Indiana outlined with a winter weather advisory. It goes in effect at 7 p.m. tonight, continuing until 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Starting future track at 7 p.m. this evening, notice we'll start to see some snow moving into west central Indiana. It will start to become more widespread after midnight tonight. I do think we'll see that steady snowfall during the overnight hours, but notice by 6 o'clock we'll start to see it tapering off to some lighter snow. Temperatures will fall to around 22 degrees tomorrow morning, accumulating snow possibly an inch or 2 as we head into 6 a.m. and winds will be out of the southeast. Now we'll see that lull in the action here from about 6 until about 10, and then it starts to ramp back up again. Notice we may see a little bit of a freezing line, could see some sleet and some freezing rain along that Bloomington, Columbus, Greensburg line, and areas to the south likely more in the form of rain. But at this point, Indianapolis, mainly snow out of this storm system. Again, we are tweaking this forecast as, again, we're kind of in that line of demarcation where it could shift back over into some rain, and that could take those snow totals down big time. So this will move on out of here by late tomorrow night, could impact Monday morning as well. 2 to 4 inches along that I-70 corridor. Areas to the north, we're tracking about 4 to 6 inches, and then to the south, lighter amounts, 1 to 2 inches of snow mixed in with some rain. Here's a look at your SkyTrack 13 forecast. High of 28 today. Snow starts to move in after 7 p.m. Continuing into Sunday evening. High of 34 tomorrow. Then we'll be quiet for the most part on Monday before we're tracking a chance of some freezing rain early Tuesday morning. Then just rain as temperatures climb to 45. Naomi?
Kelly, thank you. The lights were dimmed at the world-famous TCL Chinese Theater last night in honor of late actor Leonard Nimoy. He passed away yesterday from end-stage chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. He was the voice of logic in one of the most memorable roles in TV history. Nimoy played Mr. Spock on Star Trek and helped the series gain a huge cult following still to this day. NBC's Rahima Ellis takes a look at the legacy Nimoy leaves behind.
To millions of Star Trek fans, Leonard Nimoy will be forever known as the pointy-eared Vulcan in the 1960s sci-fi hit.
Flawlessly logical.
His portrayal of Spock earned him 3 Emmy nominations.
Open your mind.
Born in Boston, Massachusetts, Leonard Nimoy started acting at 8, moved to Hollywood at 18, and had small parts in film and television. But Star Trek in 1966 made him a star.
There was something that we would call a humanity about this character. And for me, it was a great experience to live with that for a long time.
Off-screen, Nimoy was also an author, a lifelong photographer, and a director. Tonight, fans remember him, tweeting photos of the famous Vulcan hand gesture. NASA, which named a shuttle after the Starship Enterprise, tweeted out, "Many of us were inspired by Star Trek." His on-screen captain, William Shatner, wrote, "I loved him like a brother. We will all miss his humor, his talent, and his capacity to love." In his last message just 4 days ago, Nimoy wrote, "A life is like a garden. Perfect moments can be had, but not preserved, except in memory."
Live long and prosper.
Leonard Nimoy was 83 years old. Rahima Ellis, NBC News.
And you can watch some of Nimoy's most celebrated work today and tomorrow on MeTV. There will be a few shows today and a special dedicated block of programming starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. Just go to WTHR.com for specific times and shows. Well, the Pacers welcomed the Cavs to Bankers Life Fieldhouse last night. So did they get another win against the hottest team in the league? The answer is next.
Hey, good morning. Operation Basketball. The regular season is over now for most teams. We've got your highlights and the Spirit Award 5 finalists. That's coming up with the Bethesda Christian cheerleaders in the house.
Go Patriots!
Welcome back. We hope you stay with us after the show tomorrow morning for Inside Indiana Business. Here's host Gary Dick with more on tomorrow's show.
I'm Gary Dick, and here's what's topping Indiana business news headlines this week. Downtown Indianapolis detailing nearly 60 developments expected to be complete by 2017. The organization says the effort represents a total investment of more than $1.3 billion. Carmel-based Invista LLC says it plans to hire an additional 60 workers this year. The IT firm says the growth comes on the heels of record revenue in 2014. Invista's clients include Sephora, Skechers, and Tory Burch. A prolonged labor dispute involving West Coast ports continues to affect production at Honda Manufacturing of Indiana. The plant in Greensburg on limited production last week. That continues on Monday. Nevada-based Allegiant has added another nonstop flight in Indianapolis. New service between Indianapolis and Myrtle Beach begins in June. The low-cost carrier earlier announced nonstops to Florida, Nevada, and Louisiana. And we'll have all of the week's business news, including perspective on high-profile bills, the winners and losers at the Indiana State House. That's tomorrow morning at 11, right here on Channel 13. I'm Gary Dick. Go out and make it a successful weekend.
Operation Basketball on Eyewitness News is brought to you by Reed Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Ray Skillman Automotive, and powered by the IHSAA.
Go time!
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Operation Basketball. The cheerleaders from Bethesda Christian are with us this morning, and the state tournament will start on Tuesday. This morning we wrap up the regular season for most basketball teams. The Birdcage loves what Southport is doing this season. Malik Bennett poking the ball away here from behind. Blake Evans makes the long pass ahead to Bennett, and watch this finish. Southport with a 20-point lead over Mooresville at the half. In transition now, Bennett will lob it up top to Paul Scruggs. Just a sophomore with that jam, 18 points as Southport wins 77-49. One more game for the Cardinals Saturday against top-ranked Evansville Rights. That's this afternoon. The defending 4A state champion Tech Titans hosting Ben Davis. That's C.J. Walker, number 11. Fine player for the Titans and a fine move there to the basket and one. But then Walker gets picked by Stephen Matthews. going the other way with the loose ball and the bucket. Ben Davis wins 62-43. It's win number 500 for Coach Mark James. I played for Mark James at Franklin Central. Zionsville hosting McCutcheon. Braden Hall, that is, knocks down a 3 for the Eagles, and the Eagle likes that. Yeah, you're looking good. McCutcheon coming the other way. Drive, layup, and foul for Hayden Deaton. Jake Mann was the man for Zionsville, 21 points, basket and foul, and Zionsville wins 53-42. All right, that's here this morning from the Cheerleaders of the Week from Bethesda Christian. Ladies, go right ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. The revolution is here. It's time. Bethesda Patriots, one of a kind. Victory, ambition, perfection, success. These ladies in red are a step above the rest. Judges pay attention. Fans in the crowd, stand up for your Patriots and shout it out loud. 'Cause we are the Patriots, the best team by far. Our eyes are set. First place will be ours. Patriots!
All right, all season long we've been looking for the best fans in the stands, the best Central Indiana student section to win this big trophy, the Operation Basketball Spirit Award. And here we go with the 5 finalists for this big trophy. Brownsburg, Guerin Catholic, Hamilton Southeastern, Noblesville, and Southport. We're going to announce the winner next Friday. Well, Hamilton Southeastern might get the Spirit Award, but they did not get the win. Lawrence North's Ra Capetti with that jam, and then Zach Gunn out top for a 3 for the Royals, but Lawrence North wins 64-50. And one more highlight for you this morning. Senior night at Decatur Central, the Hawks hosting Danville. The inbounds play goes to Ryan Klomp for the baseline jumper for the Warriors. But Decatur Central pulls the upset last night. Senior C.B. Bennett hits the floater as time runs out in the first quarter. 23 points for Bennett. The Hawks get up close and personal for a 77-76 win. All right, thanks for watching this morning. Remember, Spirit Award next Friday. We've got 5 finalists, and thanks to Bethesda Christian, our Cheerleaders of the Week. Have a great Saturday.
All right, Rich, thank you so much. Well, crews are getting ready for another wave of snow this weekend. Coming up, the unique ingredient one public works department is mixing with its salt to prep the roads for tomorrow.